For the past few days, I have been trying to fix my sleep schedule because school is about to start, and I have been sleeping at 5 a.m. and waking up at noon plus, and that is a no-no when the semester starts. But today, I started my day at 3 a.m. and at 3 a.m., you know what I was doing? Pondering, as one does.
Do something!
But yeah, that's what I was doing. I was pondering. And I was pondering about the life I've lived for the last 5 to 6 years when I started uni. Now I'm doing masters, but when I first started uni, I was like 17, and now I'm 23, turning 24. And I realized I've changed a lot, and there were some things I wish I knew at 17, as a 17-year-old that had like a lot of trauma and stuff going on. There are certain things I wish I knew that I am going to tell you guys, starting right now. So the first thing I wish I knew, especially as a person coming here with like a lot of trauma and like self-loathing and stuff, is I wish someone could have told me that no one would love me into loving myself. I'm gonna repeat that again for people in the back. Stay with me.
Why are you running?
Nobody is going to love you into loving yourself. So I grew up watching a lot of these sort of movies where the girlie was like a damsel in distress type beat, or maybe she was like insecure or something, and like the whole character arc would be her finding a person that would love her through her flaws and nurture her back to life. I came to realize that's some bullshit, because in real life it's not like that, okay? In real life, it's like you're this freaking glass right here. Like you're this glass. And let's say somebody's trying to pour love into this glass, but you have a lid on. Nothing is going together. Not the love you would want to pour into yourself, not the love that someone else is going to pour into you. Loving yourself allows you to receive a healthier form of love, because we often look for the love we think we deserve. And if you give yourself no love at all, this is I'm a no, by the way.
Nobody asked.
You probably go for people who will not give you love at all. Or when a person opts to love you, you will just reject that. And I used to have a lot of self-loathing and self-hate. I wish I could quantify the level of self-loathing I had, and it was crazy. Give me a second. I tried to feel that love through dating, through friends, through partying, and in the dating and love and friends aspect, it never really worked, because I was always going for people that were a mirror of the love that I had. Like, if you were to look at the friends I had back when I was 18 and 19 and the friends I have now, you can clearly tell that, yeah, clearly you didn't love yourself, because why the fuck were you friends with people that didn't care if you lived or died? Like, it's crazy. Not all of them were bad, don't get me wrong. It's just that some of them, only a person that hates themselves would be friends with a person like that. If you took anything from this coffee session, you should love yourself first. And that's gonna be painful to do. It's not gonna happen overnight, especially if you were raised to hate yourself or a situation made you loathe yourself. But a good place to start is forgiveness of yourself, obviously. I don't know about the other people that did that to you.
I want problems, always!
Here is my copy.
Escucha las palabras de las brujas, los secretos escondidos en la noche.
Yay, you made it to the second part of the video. Number 2, your youth is for trying out as many things as you possibly can. It's about being scared and doing it while you're scared. Especially when you're younger, I believe you have a lot less to lose. You have to do things scared. That is literally the point of your youth. It's the point of life even. The starting line is when you're born and you know absolutely nothing. But somewhere on the line, when you reach your teenage years, you develop this thing called fear. It's probably taught from society or whatever. Think about how you were as a kid and you didn't know about walking, and then all of a sudden you took your first steps. You probably had a sort of fear, but you did it. And walking is not like the best example, because it's supposed to be an instinctual thing, but you can think about every other thing. Like, so much about living as an adult is scary if you think about it from an infant perspective, but we learn to do it. And this also goes into you dealing with trauma. I had a lot of trauma when I came to this country. A lot of trauma that I'm still processing today. And nothing is scarier to a traumatized person than the healed version of themselves, which sounds ironic because you'd want to be healed. But the process of healing yourself from trauma is very painful. Sometimes it's very isolating, and sometimes it makes you so scared you want to throw up, right? But I look at that time and I look at how scared I was going to therapy, especially coming from an African background.
Get in there and go depress them dishes.
I know how scared I was coming to this country alone even. And I look at where I am right now and I'm like, I'm so glad I took that courageous step. Now, some courageous steps might be easier to do than others, especially if you have the resources to do that. Like, for example, not everyone has therapy, but there are materials out there to help you, right? Not everyone has the capacity to go follow their dreams, but there are resources out there that could get you there that most of us tend to underestimate and just shut off altogether because they're like, oh my god, this is too big.
Big bag, big bag.
One of my biggest hobbies is eating. Use your 20s, your 18s to try as much things as you can. Especially if you're going to college, I think that's like the best time to do it. You know, there's so much infrastructure there to support you. And if you have a hobby, let's say your hobby is make music, or your hobby is write poetry, or your hobby is like drawing art, try it. Because this is the time to try. When you're in your 30s and your 40s, and maybe you have more responsibilities and things that require your attention directly, you always ask yourself, what if? Rise and shine. Do not see that outside. This is my Nana-me. Look at my Nana-me. Yeah, don't focus on my underwear. Look at Nana-me. Slay. Thank you for being so patient. You know, I don't bring people often in here. You're the first one this year. Anyways, the third advice I have is for the girlies who are insecure in their bodies, in their life, and feel like they're not doing enough. So my advice is, and I wish I could have told myself sooner, because trust me, it would have saved me a lot of pain and crying, is that I need to start making social media look like reality. I was very insecure, and those insecurities came from online, where each time I'd scroll, I'd see people my age living these lavish lifestyles, perfect bodies, amazing skin, traveling everywhere, spending hella bang, going to all these cool parties, and it made me feel FOMO, it made me feel left out, it made me want to, you know, and it was horrible because it was even bleeding into my real life, where I would be so insecure that if I even saw a girl in my real life who had my body, I would just be like, so you've chosen to kill me. Yeah, I started working on this somewhere around 2023 to 2022, where I started diversifying my Instagram and my YouTube, where I would follow different people, and I mean different, like fat, skinny, short, tall, rich, poor, disabled, black, white, Indian. Like, I'm telling you, my FYP is so diverse. It truly is the worldwide net over there. It truly is www over there. Like, I am so everywhere on my FYP that when I get off my FYP, I do not have that sort of disconnect when I get into real life. What most of us have is a disconnect. When we turn off our phones and then go into reality, we're like, and you start trying to justify the things you see online in real life. So let's talk about like body positivity, for example, or like loving yourself, because you're so used to seeing baddies every day. Like, this reminds me of this video I watched the other day of a girl that was like, there was a period of time where guys were only seeing like 2 or 3 baddies their entire life, and they would go to war for them because baddies back then were like really hard to find. Like, they were like truly the 1%. But now, because of like surgery and also the hyper availability of it all, like you're scrolling on your fucking phone and you can just see a baddie whenever, it makes you think that that is normal. People think it's so normal that they go get surgeries for it, when in reality it's not. It's just there's hyper visibility. So when you diversify your freaking FYP to being as close to reality as possible, even when you switch to reality, your brain doesn't have that freaking like inertia. It doesn't have that shock, because you are comparing yourself to these people a lot because they're very visible to you. But if you go to real life, you realize those people are not like that. In real life, people are broke. In real life, people's waists are not as skinny as Tyler's, even though Tyler's is natural. But you know what I mean? But yeah, that is the solution I give you. Diversify your FYP. Make it as realistic as you possibly can. Like, have different sorts of people, and scrolling on the FYP will become less stressful to your mind. Oh god, yeah, that was the spot. Number 4 is confidence. If I find the video that I watch, I'm gonna put it here. But there was a video of a girl that was talking about how you want to be confident, you need to first not be chopped. And you cannot be confident if you're chopped. And I'm here to say, chop this up. Yes, you can. Confidence actually has nothing to do with the way that you look. Thinking that confidence is the way that you look is literally because of the society that we live in that pushes the idea that some people deserve to be confident while others don't. What is confidence? I'm gonna put the freaking definition over here. Confidence is truly just being 100% sure of what you are. That's literally it. If you think that you are, then you are. That's confidence. And no one can tell you anything. Like, for example, if you are going to a party, right? Like, let's say you're going to the Met Gala, right? And you feel like you are deserving to be there. And a person is like,
The fuck, man?
what the hell are you doing here? You're like, I deserve to be here. And then you go there. You are confident in the capacity that you are worthy of being here, right? Simple as that. But most people think that, oh, to be confident, I need to look a certain way, dress a certain way. I need to be tall, I need to be slim, I need to be hot. But it really just is assurance in what you are. So how do you get confident? It is by getting to know yourself. And I mean realistically getting to know yourself. Really, truly getting to know yourself without the bullshit. Because there is who you are and who you think you are, and those two people are different. You need to get to know who you are exactly and accept that as is, so that even when people are like, oh, you ugly, you're like, okay, and? Or if you don't think you're ugly, you'd be like, that's your opinion. And you keep it pushing, you know? So I've been on that journey for, I could say, 6 years now, where I've just kind of been getting to know myself for who I am, that a person can no longer come and shake me. Like, if a baddie comes past here, it's not gonna make me feel unconfident in myself, because I'm like, she a baddie, yes, I'm also a baddie. That's it. People are like, oh, you're a baddie on your blog. I'm like, you can be a baddie on my blog too. We can both be baddies. And we keep it pushing. And truly, it is one of the hardest things to do, because getting to know yourself without the delulus of what we have is quite hard. It's actually very humbling to know yourself for truly how you are. And I'm not talking about how people perceive you. I'm talking about who you really are, both your dark parts and your good parts. Like, truly accepting yourself for the yin and yang that you are. That is the first step to confidence. Because once you accept yourself, even if you're trying to work towards bettering yourself, you're starting from a more realistic perspective than the delulu you have in your brain. Sometimes the delulu is too high, sometimes the delulu is too low. But that's the first part. You need to get to know yourself. Truly, truly. The final advice I'd give to myself when I was younger is friends. Truly, when they say you are who your friends are, like who you associate yourself with, that is true. Like, I truly believe that how your friends treat you, how your friends act when you're not around, how your friends act when you're around, and the things your friends do truly is a mirror of who you are, or what you're going to tolerate or whatever, but it's still a mirror of who you are. Because if you were to take the friends I had at my lowest and the friends I have right now as I'm going through this self-discovery, you can clearly tell how I got to that lowest, and you can clearly tell how I got to this point based on the friends I have. Editing Orai over here, so I lost the final parts of the footage.
I never said I was perfect. I never said I didn't have any flaws.
I was saying that I used to have friends that didn't care if I lived or died, and when I was on my escaping my problems whole shtick with doing everything under the sun, and I meant everything under the sun, but
Fucking take me as he motherfucking take me. This is who the fuck I am.
This is exactly how I lost the footage of my video. Oh my god. But like, yeah, while I was trying to escape and literally do everything under the sun to escape my problems, they were like, oh, you want to drink until you... Yeah, let's do that. Like, I had friends that would literally leave me out into very dangerous situations. And I was so young then. I was like 18 or 19. Like, we could even have a story time about the other shit that the friends I made around that time put me through or allowed me to go through while being 17 and 18, you know, and 19. If you want to start working out, or you want to go on a self-help journey and self-care journey to better yourself, you should probably find friends who are in the similar mindset that you are. Because imagine, let's say you're trying to like focus on not drinking. Maybe that's your long-term goal. You're a recovering alcoholic and all your friends are alcoholics. It's going to be really hard, right? And since I cannot do the outro of the video as I intended, thank you for listening. If you want to share it to your friends, share it to your friends. I was so nervous making this video because this is my second long form video on my channel. And the reason it's why it's taken so long to post from the last one is because I was working on my editing skills. Can you tell? So yeah, if you like this video, like this video. If you want to share it to your friends, share it to your friends, and subscribe. See you in the next one because we're going to be doing this back to back every week. Anyways, mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. Be safe. Be proud. Be loud.